Hello! Today I've got another Halloween tutorial for you. This time it's heaven and hell, so pretty much a good side and an evil side. Surprisingly, the evil side worked out better in my opinion. Wonder how that happened. Anyway, so yeah, pretty much I just wanted to do something that's Halloween but still pretty from different angles. So yeah, this is what it turned into. Let's get started. So this time I decided to also show how I'm doing my face, simply because, you know, it is actually a pretty important part of the difference between the good and the bad side. So I'm starting out with the Maybelline Superstay foundation in the shade Ivory. And I actually haven't even showed it in a shopping haul video yet, but I recently bought this, not a real beauty blender, I think it's by, I don't know the brand anymore. If anyone's curious, just ask me and I'll look it up for you. Either way, it works really well. And it goes much quicker than a brush. And then I used the Peggy Sage concealer palette, and specifically this sort of pale shade. I used that with a very cheap sponge that I once got off eBay. Simply because the black one is actually too big to fit underneath my eyes. And then for powder I used the Peggy Sage translucent powder because, well, one, it works well, and second, it lasts for ages. Like the packaging, it's just, it can last for years somehow. So yeah, that's pretty good. So I just apply a lot of powder underneath my eyes, on my T-zone. And also on top of my eyelids to make sure that the eyeshadow is going to stay in place later. I really only apply actual eye primer for extra tackiness for the eyeshadow actually. And then for the rest of my face I use the powder puff, again to apply a lot of powder. Like if you have dry skin you could get away with a brush, but me with my oily skin can't get away with a brush. And then for my eyebrows I use the NYX Tamer Frame Brow Pomade in the shade Chocolate. It's quite dark for me, but it's the only shade that will actually fit with my hair color. So yeah, at this point you do need to make sure to remember which side is the good side and which side is the evil side, because at this point it's going to be different. So I'm starting out with the good side, and I'm pretty much just, I'm filling in my eyebrow, but I'm not making it too intense, I guess. I'm keeping it sort of soft, not too defined, just sort of soft and easy. And then on the evil side I'm going to make it way more dark and way more, you know, straight lines, really stark lines really. And also more pointy at the arch. Pretty cliche evil, I know, but it works. Also I'm making the end a little bit thinner. And just all in all making it more defined. And then on both sides I just come through it with a spoolie to set all the hairs in place. It's a nice thing with a brow pomade, it sets my hairs in place immediately, so that's pretty nice. And then for contouring I use this Maybelline contour palette, which I got off Born Pretty store. And as you can see, it's just a basic contour kit, really nice and really cheap, which is also nice. So yeah, on the good side I just use this sort of like large pencil brush and the palest shaping shade. The shape my face, yeah, with the shading, shape the, well, you get what I mean. I just shaped my face softly, and then I did a lot of highlighting, like really a lot of highlighting. On the good side I really wanted to do like, you know, just mainly a lot of highlighting, whereas on the bad side, on the evil side, I actually went in with the darker shade and applied a whole lot of it. Like the contouring is way deeper there. So I pretty much spent half an hour, not really, but a lot of time blending on my cheekbone. And then I also did my jawline and my nose on the other side. And then my forehead a little bit. And for highlighting I only applied a little bit underneath my eye, just to make me look nice and awake. And as you can see, there's already starting to be a difference. Then for blush I used the Catrice Illuminating Blush in Coral Me maybe. On the good side. Applied quite a lot of it because I really wanted it to be a nice color. And then the Undress Your Skin highlighter by Makeup Academy. I just used the same brush for that because I wanted a lot of highlighter. So I just apply heaps and heaps of it on my cheekbone and then also a little bit on my forehead above my eyebrow. And then on the evil side I use a nude shade to just, this one is by Essence by the way, I'll just list everything I've used down below as always. And I just pretty much applied only a little bit of it to have a little bit of color there, and I didn't do any highlighting there because, I don't know, I want it to be, you know, very different from the other side. Then for my eyes, on bold eyes I started out with the Maybelline Color Tattoo in Crème de Rose as usual. On the evil side I also did a little bit underneath my eye. Whereas on the good side I only did it on top of my eyelid. Because I'm not really going to do a very dark eye look on the good side obviously. And then for eyeshadows I decided to go for the 120 color palette by BH Cosmetics and a blue shade. Simply because it has a lot of eyeshadow shades and you know everyone has something like this. Like, they're just basic shades. So you know, you just use anything you have. Anyway, I decided to go for Halo Eye, which I had actually, I think, never done before. So pale in the middle and then dark on the outer corners and, well, outer corner and inner corner. And then I use a little bit more white at the center of the lid, and I also use that as a highlighting shade. And then I use the darkest blue shade in the crease with a fluffy brush. I didn't want a very defined crease on this eye, but I did want something there. Like, I don't know, it doesn't feel like a complete eye look to me if I don't do anything in the crease. And then I highlighted my eyebrow with a little bit more of white. And lastly I decided to put a little bit of blue underneath my eye just to, you know, make it a complete thing. And then for some extra whiteness and paleness and brightness I used a white pencil in my waterline. This one is by Peggy Sage. It's really stark white. And then to have nice big eyelashes I used the Scandaleyes Lycra Flex Mascara by Rimmel. And I tried to make sure that it didn't get clumpy or anything, so I was very careful with applying it. And especially on the bottom I just applied it really carefully. And that's the eye look done. Or at least on this side. Then for the lips on the good side I used a nude lip liner and a lip gloss. You could just use the lip gloss on its own, but I think my lips aren't defined enough really if I don't use a lip liner underneath the lip gloss, so I went for a lip liner before I used the gloss. So yeah, obviously I just lined my lips and then applied the lip gloss. At this point I also decided, by the way, to add some earrings to it, an angel wing on the good side and a dragon that you'll see better in a moment probably on the evil side. Also I dabbed the lip gloss a little bit to make it a little bit less opaque. And a little bit more, I don't know, innocent. And then it's time for the evil side. For the evil side I started out with what's sort of become my favorite routine recently. So yeah, pretty much I just did a sort of smoked out wing with a angled brush, a fluffy angled brush. And then dragged it through into the crease with black. And yeah, what I do notice about these shades, they don't blend very easily always, so I do spend a lot of time on it to make it look good. So if you're using cheap black eyeshadow as well, then, you know, just know that you're probably going to spend a lot of time blending. And then once that was done, I also applied it underneath my eye. And this is why I did use the base underneath my eye on this eye, because I do really want it to be black. So I just applied some layers until it was dark enough, then went onto my eyebrow highlight with white. And then decided to do red on the eyelid. If you can't find a red eyeshadow, just use blush. Do make sure, by the way, to check beforehand if it doesn't stain the skin, because otherwise you're gonna have a red eyelid for a week, which isn't very handy as usually. And then I use a paler shade of shimmery red in the inner corner. And also blended it underneath my eye a little bit. And then I decided to also put some of the first red shade with a fluffy blending brush into the crease, to make it look all a little bit more smooth and even. And also add a little bit of red underneath the wing and underneath my eye, to tie it all together. And then it's time for eyeliner. I really had a lot of fun with the evil side really. Probably, if you can tell, I spent a lot more time on it than on the good side. But yeah, you just use cake eyeliner and water. And a really thin nail art brush actually. It's really my favorite eyeliner brush by now. And I just started out with a thin wing and then just thin line and then just made a thin wing as well. It's the easy thing about only doing it with one eye, you know you're going to get it even because it doesn't have to be symmetrical with the other eye. Makes life a lot easier. And then to make life a little bit more difficult again, I decided to also do a sort of inward wing on the inner corner, which is difficult to film, but you just saw how it ended up. Then I colored my waterline black with this Estee Lauder pencil. I really don't know how to pronounce that. Estee Lauder, I don't know. Anyway, I just filled in my waterline with it and then went on to mascara. I didn't want my eyelashes to be too big because I didn't want to cover up the eyeliner because I was seriously surprised at how well it turned out this time. So I used the Catrice Glamour mascara, which is a little bit more subtle than the Rimmel one. And then went on to lips. I used the Matte Me lip cream by Sleek in this color Fandrango Purple. In hindsight, I probably should have used the red shade to fit better with the eye, but yeah. So after wiping off the lip gloss that came onto my evil side from my good side, I just started applying this. And really, if you're going to do this look as well, I do recommend using red instead. Or using purple in the eye, that could also work. But yeah, this is the finished look. Here you can see the innocent, cute, good side. And then here the evil and more fierce side. I really do prefer the evil side, really. But yeah, it's just a matter of preferences, and for Halloween you can do both at the same time. So yeah, for today that was it. I hope you enjoyed watching this. Thank you very much for watching and see you next time. Bye! I just found it more fun to have my eye just randomly in there. Pretty much. Just not to make it stand out more, I guess. So the center is a little bit